Okay, so welcome back, folks. We got a 2013 Ford Ranger. This is a 3.2 liter 5-cylinder Ford Ranger, right? So customer complaint is that he's cranking but no start. So he asked if I could check it out for him. So let's get into it. All right, so the backstory on this vehicle is this came from another shop. He needed a second opinion, so they brought it here on the tow truck. So I'm going to put the key on and let's see what's going on. We get the check engine light. So far we do have one. I want to make an attempt to crank. Nothing. All right, so what we're going to do next is let's put the scan tool on this vehicle and let's see if we can diagnose it. Okay, so what I'm going to use here is the Think Scan 662. Yeah, you know this Ford Ranger got a funny place where they put that over the. Okay, so let's see if we can scan this vehicle and see if we can narrow down exactly where the fault is happening and occurring. We got a P062D, right, 49A7, which is subcode, and we got a P0A09007. So DC converter started circuit low, so that means we're not getting current somewhere. And we got a fuel injector driver circuit, so we definitely have a fault on the ECM. All right, and also we got a ABS powertrain U code, so let me know that the ABS is not communicating or having problems with the information being sent from the PCM. So what you're seeing here, basically this customer has this engine really clean. He said that he has this vehicle about 10 years and is really in good condition, right? As I mentioned, this is a 5-cylinder, so all the injectors is located on this rubber, right? And the ECU is under the fuse box. So I gotta remove all those things to do my checks, but we could try right here. Right, we can just spray some bug spray in the intake, and if it start up, then that let me know that we definitely have a fault on the driver's side, which the code did say. Okay, so I did spray some bug spray into this intake, and I'm gonna see what direction it leads me, if it really is fuel that we are missing. All right, the code did mention that is a P062D fuel injector driver circuit performance, and let's see if it'll crank over. Nothing. So it's not even turn over. So I have nothing else to base my diagnostic on other than go direct to the PCM. So I believe I'm going to do that and see exactly what's going on there, right? I suspect that we're going to smell a burned PCM. I've run into this problem before, as I mentioned, and it was that. So let me get my tools and let me attack that. Okay, so here is where the ECU, well, PCM, is located for this vehicle. So I gotta take apart the fuse box and the bracket and get access to it, and then we'll be able to see exactly if it's what I think it is. All right, in order to get to the PCM, you gotta remove the battery clamp, this fuse box, and it's located right under here. So I gotta move this holder as well, this tray, and get access to it and blast it out. Let me show you exactly where the PCM is located. You gotta remove the battery clamp, the fuse box. It had a bracket right here you gotta get rid of as well. It's held down with some 10 bolts, and once you get that off, you gotta remove the harness, okay, for the ECU. And let's push this down. So you're looking to see if any pins are burnt. Yes, it definitely is burnt. It smells. I know you can't smell it through the camera, but I can definitely smell it. So we definitely have a burnt module, and this customer have to be notified that we gotta replace the module, and I'm going to make a recommendation, let them know that we gotta service those injectors. Right, what you gotta do is smell the PCM, and it definitely smell like it's burnt. There's no way around it. And I was mentioning that I'm going to let the customer know that you got to service these injectors, because so if I replace the module and I leave on these injectors, it's going to damage the new module or the repair module. So we definitely got to pull these injectors, send them to service, and let the customer know that that's the right thing to do. So anything other than that is basically going to damage the module again. So it's a Continental box. Yep, it is. Right, made in China. SID 208. Okay, so I gotta do some work on this. I may open it, I may not. Depends. So I'm gonna keep you in the loop and let you know exactly what happened with this vehicle. Yeah, so we gotta get these injectors out here. Okay. You see the tip is full of oil. Alright, but I'm not seeing much carbon buildup on it. Alright, so we gotta clean up down that hole. I'm gonna make a recommendation that we replace the valve cover gaskets and the seals as well, and whatever else we need to do while we at it. Okay, so let's get this cleaned up, get them serviced, and yeah, that should be it, and get that ECU repaired. Alright, so we got our hands on a new box. This is the old one that's burnt up, so I'm gonna clone or remove the information from here and adapt it to this one so we could get this vehicle up and running. Right, so I'm gonna tear this apart later on, so I'll show you exactly where it was burnt, but for now we're just gonna take the information from here and put it on this one and get this vehicle started up. I also got the injectors out. Okay, so I'm gonna take them to be serviced. They don't look too bad, but still I gotta get that sorted out before I put this vehicle back in operation. This is the board that came off the customer vehicle, and here's the new driver that was installed on his box. So this is the old one, right? You don't get these to purchase outside, so basically we just took the driver off a new box that we had and we installed it onto this one. All right, then we're going to see if we can try this to see if it'll work. All right, it still have that burnt smell, but it's not burnt because it's the new driver. This is the old one. I'll show you right here. All right, so yeah, I'm back to what I was saying. Yeah, a lot of work been piling up on me because I'm not 100% at this moment, but I'm getting there. So let's put this back together. I'm not going to seal it as yet unless I know the vehicle is running, and then I have to get the injectors from the guy that serviced them, and with that, start this vehicle up. Alright, so I was able to install all the injectors that came back from being serviced, and I got the ECU also installed. So I'm just gonna prime the vehicle up, ensure that we have no leaks, and then we're supposed to be able to clear the code and start the vehicle up. So let's go on the scan tool and see what's going on, if we still have the fault code. I'm gonna see if I have the ability to run the fuel pump. Although I do have the key on and the pump's supposed to run on its own, but still, I'm going to make sure that, I'm able to do so. It's going to do an update. I do have the Wi-Fi on, so just give me a minute. Let's see how fast it downloads and get this thing going. Right, if you can recall, we did have a fault on the ECU where the driver was damaged, basically burnt up, and the injectors was also serviced because it is the injector driver that was damaged. So I'm just making sure that everything is like it's supposed to be before I start this vehicle up, because if I had replaced the ECU without cleaning the injectors, I might be right back here trying to replace the ECU again, and this is a fresh ECU, so I'm not gonna take that chance at all. So let's do ignition switch. Let's see if we can get things moving. All right, so this is a 3.2 liter, all right, turbo common rail. This is the 5-cylinder, it's not the 4. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. I'm gonna do a full health report. As I mentioned earlier, this scan tool has the ability to only read 4 to 5 modules, right? The PCM, the ABS, the SRS, the TCM, and the RCM. Okay, and we still have the Ford with the fuel injector driver. So we're gonna clear all these because we did make a report earlier. Right, so let's see, we have no fault. Right, so we got a good bill of health. Let's see if we can go in the PCM and let's see if we can run the fuel pump. Okay, so we are still using the ThinkScan 662. Okay, I just fumble real quick. Right, as I said, this was sent to me to test out to see if it's a good scan tool for, you know, I mean, like if a guy is just starting to do mobile work or even run his little, you know, own show, he can purchase a scan tool and see if it, you know, is worthy, right? So we don't have any bi-directional feature when it comes to this vehicle, right? This is the protocol, so we gotta come out from here. All right, so let's read 4 codes again. It's supposed to have no 4 codes, so this is not a bi-directional scan tool. Well, at least this feature. It do have a service feature where you can reset certain things, right, like throttle and things like that, but it's not that type of bi-directional scan tool, right? So we have no faults. So we're gonna go into live data, and I'm gonna look for my injectors. I did install the injectors in the same order that it came out, so we're just gonna look for the contribution, balance contribution. All right, I'm gonna go okay. All right, so they all at 1 right now. Let's graph them. So only could graph 4 at a time, so we're gonna come back out and leave it like this, and let's see if this vehicle start up. And there you have it, dead battery. Alright, so I gotta get the jump pack and let's put it on the system and see if we get this vehicle started up. Alright, so as usual, you know, we always have the dead battery situation while you work in the garage, so I gotta put my jump pack on it and ensure that we gain enough voltage to start this vehicle up, and let's see what's going on. There you have it, dead battery. So I just gotta let the jump pack recover, and I'm going to just do my checks again, ensure that we have no leaks. I just cracked the line to lead the system out, so let's see if we can start it up again. Okay, let's see if we can start up. Yep, started right up. We got check engine light on still. Okay, let's see exactly what that check engine light is about. But the vehicle did start up. Let me take you on the hood and show you exactly what's going on. So we do have the vehicle running, right? So it was a success to get the vehicle started up, right? So I just got some diesel stove because I had to leave the system. But let's go and see exactly what that check engine light is about. If you have a fault with one of the injectors, that tends to happen ever so often. Let's press read. Let's retrieve. It doesn't feel like we have a misfire, but one of the injectors was having problem. So you do have, what's that? Probably due to low battery. Okay, let's come out. Let's leave it idle a little bit to charge the battery up, and then I'm gonna remove the fold and the check engine light and ship this back to the customer. So there you have it, right? I was able to get the vehicle started up by servicing the injectors right? I also was able to fix the ECU, right? And there you have it. Went from a no crank, no start, well, crank, no start, to the vehicle is running. Right, I gotta put this to charge up. As I said, let's let it idle for a little bit, and then we'll see exactly what the check engine light will come off. Alright, but we're gonna definitely call this a fix. So thanks for watching. If you haven't hit that bell notification down below, please do so, right, for more content. Right, leave a comment down in the box. What would you have done differently? Okay, I mean, good or bad, you know how it is, right? Until next time, y'all take it easy. Peace. Oh yeah, and this thing, scan 662, wasn't too bad to diagnose this vehicle, right? I was able to retrieve the full codes and get some sort of direction using the scan tool, but it was good enough for me to retrieve some information. Let's see what's going on with the balance, to see if the injectors are looking okay. So right now, number 2 injector and number 4 is taking away fuel, while the number 3 and number 5 is given. Okay, I mean, there's just a way I look at, well, something I look at when I'm doing these kind of jobs, just to see exactly what's going on with the injectors. But the vehicle haven't driven since it came here, and you know, there was cranking and stuff like that, so we could have fuel down in the cylinder that's causing the problem, and most likely we do. I'm just gonna accelerate a little bit, get all that smoke out. Well, again, he was able to get this vehicle up and running. Right, so yeah, until next time, y'all take it easy. Peace.